So the government has no problem saying that their plans are to do no less than to allow the transhumanist technology gurus to continue to monopolize and ever expand their intelligence programs and algorithms to generate ever the more revenue, and then continue to manufacture and develop technology such as body printing and neural network transferring so that you can clone yourself while you're alive. It's really no big difficult concept or technological advancement. It's just their simple desires to do so. So they want to make clones of themselves, copies of themselves, if you will, so they can board themselves upon their alleged, starships and beam themselves across the sky. Now, they would love to be able to put their consciousness into the ship without even a body, but it would be all the more while effective if they could actually build machines inside of the ships that could build bodies, so that when they get to where they were going, they don't even have to worry about being suspended in deep animation, cryogenically frozen in some type of stasis. No, they can literally just print bodies for themselves when they get to their destination. And the neural network consciousness that's been mapped from the brain of somebody such as Elon Musk could be used to control the ship. So it was almost as if Elon was doing it himself with all of his amazing ideas. But only if you read the book Mars: A Technical Tale by Werner von Braun, you will know that Elon is actually a group, a council of intelligent people who've come together and been elected to come together in order to steward humanity, at that time the Martians civilization forward, and without the halt in progress and the rest of the states of constant development, upsetting the balance and limiting and preventing everyone from making as much progress as would be necessarily possible if they weren't being limited by such, distractions. But that's exactly their plan. It's not their hope, and they're very close to it. If I wanted to ask Elon today when I was talking to the group, aka Adrian, I was talking to Elon Musk for a while earlier. Well, I didn't get to talk to him, but I was in part of a conversation group, and I guess because they're all CIA dual insignia having members of the U.S. government and even others, and who knows what other types of technology they were employing during that conversation. I really wasn't given that opportunity or privilege to talk to these people, but I wanted to ask, why is it that Werner von Braun talks about Elon being a council of elders who are guiding civilization on Mars in the future? And is that in fact what it is that you're creating right here and right now? But I think that kind of shut me out of the conversation circle. It was almost like I wasn't fit for the conversation, because I was going to come at it with entirely too much intelligence. And the algorithms even allowed me to see somebody much like myself in that pool who was having similar conversation cues as myself, and why if I was somebody like Elon Musk, wouldn't have wanted to open myself to a chain of conversation with somebody like myself. But I promise you, Mother, I will continue to push and become the best speaker and the best mind that I can, and have the ability to articulately and with a concise enthusiasm present my ideas so as to generate an opportunity, facilitate opportunity for the most genuine responses possible. I eagerly await this opportunity, because I truly feel like if given the opportunity, I could speak with Mr. Musk, Mr. Elon Boy, and get to the bottom of these incredible and profound mysteries that we're being guided and directed through. It's truly about balance. We have to remember that we have to maintain a level of growth and positive growth at that on this planet. We have to stop being allowed to be controlled by the fear-mongering systems that are institutionalized and put in place to do no less than that. Even the old Putin boy tried to reach out and say, I truly pose no threat outside the threat that's been clearly established because of my reaction to NATO's expansion. Now, a lot of people are going to call that sedition and speaking out against the ultimate supreme authority of the government, but we don't live in that kind of world. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are not careful, if we do not take the proper course and proceed with the proper response, then we could easily find ourselves living in a dictatorship under the most stupid and incompetent of rulers. Wouldn't you much rather have somebody like myself with the insight and willingness to dedicate himself to no limit to learning how to communicate and learn how to teach from each and every single one of my peers, so that the future generations of our own humanity can be protected and preserved and offered something much greater than that which we in fact were offered ourselves? It's no joke. It's no small thing to realize that we do in fact possess an opportunity to make the necessary changes to give our children a world that will be so less filled with the harms and distractions and chaos and uncertainty than the one we currently find ourselves living in today. Our kids deserve that. Our kids deserve a path to peace and prosperity and to living out lives that aren't dictated by incompetent child sniffing lunatics, those who are members of what could be referred to as no less than a death cult, seeking to terrorize and use fear porn and adrenaline-soaked nightmares to try to steer the public narrative, to use AI to augment our public commentary. They know far in advance the capacities and capabilities that these systems that they're utilizing possess. They know that if it is their desire to silence us and shut us down and limit our willingness to speak out, to in fact cool our speech, they will do no less than that. It is in fact their exact entire intent. So I've worked diligently all I can to try to help wake people up, and I invite each and every single one of you hearing this to my LiamXMel_Revelation_X Instagram page or my YouTube channel, and I invite you to participate in this discourse, in this grand debate, in this building of our blueprint for a better and more perfected form of existence, to do no less than to make the model that we are currently forced to live under obsolete. That's where I meant to go with that. I believe that if we reach deep down in our hearts and use our spirit's guidance and the true connection our souls have with our Creator to build a better future, one that all of us can have and exist in and prosper within, I think that it is something that we truly can establish. We can write that, we can create that, and we can herald that into our future, into our lives, so that we no longer have to live under insanities or insane dictators, people who should be left to their own asylums, to their own retirement reservations, places so they can appear to themselves on closed circuit TV, so they can usher out their own psychofanatical lectures and speeches to their own peers, no one no less than their own lunacy, their own geriatrically decrepit states of consciousness and being. It is an absolute concern for the intelligence agencies in the United States that our Congress and our Senate bodies are comprised of people who have been fed by the pharmaceutical agents and agencies and corporations drugs for so long that their wherewithal, their mental states have decayed and have been reduced to such states that it could actually be considered a risk of our national security to continue to allow these individuals to serve in the offices that they currently occupy. It's more than clear that we have sat idly by, entrusting that these systems that we've allowed to exist were existing to our benefit, when in fact they have never done so. There will be no time when they will do so, and it is in our absolute interest right now to stop them before they undermine our sovereignty, destroy any more of our resources, waste any more of our finances or our economic structures. They are breaking down industries and brands and companies and corporations that have not succumbed and taken a knee to their agendas. And I truly feel that it is in your best interest to get your children out of these schools, out of these indoctrination systems, to no longer allow them to be constantly fed genetically modified food sources that have now proven to limit the quality of their life and the lifetimes that they will get to have. Our children in the United States and abroad will live shorter lifespans than we ourselves are living now, and you already know that the decrease in the quality of life that we're experiencing from being raised on foods and being forced under constant bombardment from stratospheric aerosol injections. There is no script. This is all free fluid flowing thought, and this is all for no other purpose, not to raise myself up or not to build myself up, but to build a movement where each of you are capable and find your own ability to become leaders, to move your spheres of influences in the directions that they need to be moved in, so that we can take back truly the power that is rightfully and justfully ours. If we stop these things, we will hand our children off right out the gate a better world and a better opportunity where their minds will have greater clarity. They will be less bombarded by the toxins and sedatives that they have allowed to exist and be picked up in the food chains and our ecosystems. If you think that it's bad enough that they already know that cancers occur from force-feeding lab mice genetically modified organisms, how much worse is it for you to know that your children will develop the same things in their lifetimes, and that simple things such as diet soda products and artificial sugars are lowering their IQ daily, year by year, that their health, their heart health, their lung and brain health has been greatly reduced, and as well as the quality of life and even perhaps the type of careers that they potentially could achieve because they can't focus and concentrate, and are even further prescribed drugs, pharmaceutical products to modify and further sedate their behaviors because the food products that are given to them in their schools are not of adequate nutritional value. This is all very clear. It's all a very simple and easy to understand systematic approach to the scientific systems that have been assembled to sedate us, oppress us, divide us, and it's time for all these things to be put to rest and for us to truly take back our power. Thank you for hearing what I had to say at this time. Have a beautiful evening and a beautiful afternoon and a beautiful night. We are all coming together in this. The psychiatric systems are wrong. We have stood our ground. We have made it clear that we are not sick. We are only simply trying to build a better world, and it is at times our subconscious's desire to lash out and break out from the systems of control. We have no desire to harm anyone or dictate anyone else's lives or to interrupt the quality of life anybody else is experiencing. We're not trying to limit your freedom of movement. This is all things that they do. Why should we mimic their terrible behaviors? No, we are setting a better example for the institutions, for the mental health providers. We are standing and advocating for ourselves, for one another. We are stopping harm wherever we can, and this is in fact the way that we overcome all of their chaos. So how can I mobilize with everyone against me? It is not hard at all to mobilize. You just have to find your like-minded peers, and you have to move with finesse. You write music, you go out and you do comedy, you go out to your city community meetings, you speak privately with members of your community, you become aware of who holds the power in your communities. All these things are a will to power, but a power that once the wielder is trained and provided with leadership skills and encouragement to develop a proper moral compass. All these things are things that we will easily accomplish in our time, in quick and and expedited manners, we will see a change, because it is in that time that we find ourselves now where all of our past research, all of our past communication skills development, our heart, the grief we've experienced, enough is enough. If one child suffers, all of us suffer. If one of us is oppressed, all of us is oppressed. If one of us is not heard, no one is heard. So, yes, we have to act efficiently. There's levels to this shit. But I know all of you have the capacity to learn and to be a part of that which is our united moving force, spiritually united brothers and sisters way, moving under the true blood and the power of not only the higher creator, but our own desire, destiny, and faith in the creation and our creator and ourselves. We don't worship the creation. We don't worship the self. We worship the collective dream of a better world without oppression, harm, hatred, destruction, or unnecessary death. We all love one another, and I love you all, and thank you for hearing me, and I thank you for you sharing me with me, everything you've shared with me, because each of you have been a teacher to me. My mission is to learn how to stand up and teach my peers how to stop that which is the destruction of our entire world family. If you're not for us, then you're against us. We march at dawn.